The views and opinions expressed by the On the Spot with David Rodgers show are solely based on the show's hosts, guests, and viewers. We are solely responsible for all show content in its entirety and does not necessarily reflect the opinions of any sponsors in any way. These broadcasts are presented and made public by the On the Spot with David Rodgers team in the hope that it'll be entertaining and informative to our viewers and listening audience. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it's 7 o'clock and time for On the Spot with David Rodgers. And now, here he is, Mr. Friday Night, the show pony himself, the man, the dream, the legendary David Rodgers.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to On the Spot with David Rodgers. I'm your host, David Rodgers, alongside Mitchell Gunner, the missing Byron Bagwell. Great to have you along. Tonight's show is sponsored by the Mitchell Gunner Racing. Be sure to follow our favorite NHRA Division II Summit ET Sportman racer as he tears up the tracks in the southeastern United States. Follow Mitchell on Facebook for the latest in his achievements. Let's get started as we always do with our prayer, our pledge, and our patriotic quote of the night. Ladies and gentlemen, please bow your head. Mitchell Gunner, I'm going to ask you tonight to lead us in prayer.
Thank you, David. Lord, Heavenly Father, please protect us from all the ailments that's going on here lately with this COVID-19 virus. Lord, also, we want you to protect our servicemen and women that fight every day for us to be able to have the freedoms that we have each and every day. Lord, we want to thank you to allowing us to have the opportunity to do this show on Tuesday nights, to spread the word of the news without spin, as most people will get on their TVs from other news channels. Lord Heavenly Father, Lord, we ask for you to continue protecting us after this show on our way home, and also we pray for those that have unspoken prayer requests, Lord Heavenly Father. We say this all in your name. Amen.
Amen. All right, let us stand for our pledge, and I'm going to ask Mr. Michael Heater if he'd lead us in our pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Amen. Again, ladies and gentlemen, welcome in to On the Spot with David Rodgers. I'm your host, David Rodgers, alongside Mr. Mitchell Gunner. Over to Mitchell Gunner's right, of course, is the Dragon Slayer, Michael Heater, owner of Fantastic Fire Brigade, and also Mr. Dave Holland, producing, owner of what, Dave? Harry Business, open 7 days a week now, and we'll get into that as we get into some commercial breaks. Mr. Byron Bagwell is under the weather, so he will not be with us tonight, and Mr. Austin Stevens had some other commitments as well, but I want to welcome you in. So, all right, we got a couple of quotes. Our very own director, Michael Heater, put one up for us. Here it is. Always do your very best, even when no one else is looking. You always are. Don't disappoint yourself. Interesting. Again, ladies and gentlemen, always do your very best, even when no one else is looking. You always are. Don't disappoint yourself. David, who do you think?
Wow, that could be just
Michael
about
pulled out a
anybody.
good one on us here.
I'm going to say that's probably a Michael Heater.
You're going to say that's Michael Heater, okay? All right, Michael can't answer it right now because he's the one that put it up there. Mitchell?
I have no idea. But it sounds like a very wise person.
Yeah, I'm going to take a stab. I think it's a sports person. Mike, am I in the vicinity? He's not going to give it away. All right, this is a sports person. I'm going to go with the great Vince Lombardi.
I'm with you as well.
No, I could go with that one.
Great guess,
But no cigar.
but not correct.
Golly.
Let me throw you guys. Let me throw you a little hint here.
All right.
This week was a historic loss for our country.
Colin Powell.
Very good.
Oh!
Yeah. There you go.
The great Colin
The
Powell.
great General Colin Powell.
who gave that. It was part of a speech he gave, a commencement ceremony he gave back in 1989.
Yes.
89, I believe it was. So, yep.
All right. Good job, Mike. What do you have?
All right, how about this one? Believers look up, take coverage. The angels are nearer than you think. Believers look up, take courage. Sorry, it's take courage.
Okay.
Believers look up, take courage. The angels are nearer than you think.
That sounds like an evangelist.
Sounds like
I'm going to go with Billy Graham.
wow.
How about you,
Martin Luther King.
Michael?
I'm going way out there. Jimmy Carter.
No. You got it right.
Really?
It is Billy Graham.
Billy Graham.
1-0 today.
Wow.
All right. One more for you, and then we're moving on. Loyalty to country always. Loyalty to government only when it deserves it. Loyalty to country always. Loyalty to government only when it deserves it. I will tell you this. He was a great author. Wrote some books.
Wow.
Several nice ones too.
Yeah.
Him
And he has another name. He has two names.
Yes,
he goes
he
by.
does. Hey,
What are you going with?
I think some of those books have been removed from our elementary
Have they
schools.
really?
Yes, they have.
Because they shouldn't be, because those are great, great tales. If it's who you think it is.
Let me think of some of the books. How about Huck Finn?
How about that one? Yeah,
That one's pretty good.
that was pretty good. How about Tom Sawyer?
Yeah, Tom Sawyer.
How about that? All right, who is it, Dave? Mark, go ahead, Mike.
That would be
yeah,
Samuel Clemens, also known as Mark Twain.
Twain. Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome down on the spot again. Here we go. We've got the 360 coming up after this commercial break. This is the 360 news and weather update. One person has died in a crash between a truck and an SUV in Columbia County on County Road 18 earlier today. The FHP is investigating that incident. The Stark County Police Department arrested Ashton Blaze Wright yesterday for illegally selling dangerous narcotics. Wright was selling meth in a very public place when officers surrounded him and took him into custody. Mitchell?
No, I don't have an update, but I do know not only with meth, but he also had fentanyl.
Yes.
So that was another dangerous
Yeah,
substance.
he was just coming in town. He's not even from here, is he?
Michael, is
He was not from here.
okay.
He was actually here trying to distribute.
And not only that,
That was part of it.
He's here.
not only did he have a warrant in Bradford County, but he also had a warrant in Alachua County and I believe also Putnam County.
Yeah.
There we go. All right, Keystone leaders are telling people not to feed alligators after a 6-foot gator appeared near a group of children playing at Keystone Beach over the weekend. The incident left a 12-year-old boy stranded on the beach's swimming platform for over an hour.
Oh, man.
Wow. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Today, Governor Ron DeSantis announced that Florida seaports are open and can meet holiday demand, while other seaports across the country are struggling to keep up. Isn't that all?
Yeah.
Hey, I'm telling you right now, you know what he's going to do, Michael? He's going to tell all these other people, we're going to get our stuff unloaded. Y'all need help? Bring it over.
Yeah. And I tell
Bring
you,
it over here. We're going to unload it for you.
And I tell you, the people, they were glad to see him at Jacksport.
Oh, yeah.
That's where he made the announcement. And I tell you, and he even said it on the news.
Yeah.
Hey, our ports are wide open.
Oh, I don't.
Bring them here.
Yeah.
They've already said that they're experiencing an influx
of ships traveling from west to east through the Panama Canal as they make their way to Florida from the Pacific Ocean.
Isn't that crazy? How about that? That's the latest news. Now here's your weather forecast with our director, Michael Heater. Michael, what you got for us? Because I'm feeling rough.
This weather report brought to you by
please tell
Austin's
me
Weather
the
Service
pollen
out of
count is
Keystone
going
Heights.
down.
Find Austin's Weather Service on Facebook and have a detailed local forecast sent right to you.
And good evening, everybody. Here's a quick look at the pollen count, as David alluded to. Actually, believe it or not, we've mellowed out. We're still in the medium range. So for those of you that are sensitive to pollen, you're going to suffer. For those of you that are not that big of a deal. But it's hovering from 6 to 6.2 to 6.6 on Thursday. It's going to be your worst day. But honestly, you're not going to get much of a change. Why are we getting this constant of pollen? Here's the reason why. Taking a look at the regional forecast, you'll see that cold front that moved through dropped a little bit of rain on Saturday night into Sunday morning. Sunday was a gorgeous day.
Yes, it was.
It has been that way throughout the entire region. The one area of problem, Pascagoula, Mississippi. You guys are experiencing storms. You're going to get another round of it tomorrow. Heavy rain expected. Areas could see up to a half inch of rain in localized spots, with flooding a possibility in certain low-lying areas. The rest of the country, though, is looking great in the southeast. Pair of 78 stretching from Nashville to Atlanta, 81 degrees in Charlotte, and 85 here in the Sunshine State in Orlando under really beautiful sunny skies and decent lower humidity levels. Locally for us, here's what we're looking at. Next 3 days, mostly sunny skies, a few clouds rolling in by the end of the week, temperatures in the 80s. Uptick in the humidity as we get towards Friday and the weekend, but still comfortable. Lows will be creeping up into the 60s. They were in the 50s for the last few days. But again, nothing outrageous. It's going to be really nice. And the best part is, no rain in the forecast and nothing brewing in the tropics. Dave, that's the latest from Austin's Weather Service. We throw it back to you.
There you go, Michael. That was a great weather report. It set the pollen, and we'll get back with that weather report here to you in just a
I know
few
what
minutes.
the problem is, David.
What is it?
With this pollen?
What is it?
You need to shave that mustache. All that pollen's
Pollen
gathered
is
up in your
gathering
mustache
up.
and you're breathing it in at night.
Yeah, he's got a mustache,
That's right.
but he doesn't have sinus issues. Or do you?
Huh?
You don't have much sinus issues, do you?
I can fake it really well.
He can fake it good. Okay. Dave, do you have sinus issues?
Not under my nose.
Okay. Well, never mind. I'm moving on from that. All right. All right, guys, again, welcome in On the Spot with David Rodgers. I'm your host, David Rodgers. Producing the show is our producer, Super Dave Holland. Directing the show, you just heard him doing the weather, Michael Heater. And here he is to my right, the local guy himself, Mitchell Gunner.
No
The
Byron.
ghost, no Byron Bagwell. He's under
No.
the weather tonight.
The Byron Bagwell.
Oh, yeah, I
No,
forgot
the
because,
Byron
yeah,
Bagwell.
he's going to say the here. He's on, as a matter of fact. So, anyway, Michael, do we have a, what's it that?
Yeah, and we'll get to it as soon as you do your trivia.
Oh, that's right. That's Mike. I almost forgot about that. That's how bad I'm feeling. So, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, sorry if I'm not here. Somebody else will take over. It's not a big deal. So, anyway, we have trivia on Thursday nights at the Downtown Grill. Starts at 7:30. Team trivia. You can come down there and play trivia, eat food, have your favorite beverage,
Have a great time.
and a chance for a raffle for a gun that Mike says you call the wrong thing every time.
2 weeks in a row, I've missed it by
By one card. By one card.
Anyway.
So anyway, well, you've got 2 more weeks to actually get into this thing. So, but anyway, we have fun, and Wednesday night team trivia real quick over at Fun Point tomorrow night with Michael Heater. You had 10 teams. I had 6 or 7 teams. So trivia getting big back up, and
Absolutely.
2 days in a row. So make sure you go see Michael at Fun Point. Yeah, he starts 7:15 because he does his question up front at the beginning, and then he rolls on toward the end. What time do you normally get done, roughly?
At work, we usually wrap up about 5 after 8.
5 after 8.
We
So
usually
you're-
it's about 45 minutes or so, depending on
Really?
the teams. Yeah, we blow through.
nice. I
and-
like that. I do like that.
Yeah,
I like that.
and it is. It's a very fast-paced thing. The
Right.
questions are a little bit different than what you do.
Right.
We don't do quite as many bonuses.
Right.
But we do we do provide a little bit more of a challenge for some folks, and that rolls really well. The big thing that people love, that appetizer poker. They love the cards.
Guards. And even with all that, 45 minutes.
Yeah, 45 minutes.
Nice.
45
I'll
minutes
tell you
to
what,
50.
you
Yeah,
got
works
that
really
down
well.
pat. I like that.
Works great.
And I tell you, You know, we try to do ours within an hour and 15 hour and 20 minutes. We like to try to get out of there before the 9 o'clock hour too, but 45 minutes. That gets people in there. Hey, keeps them interested too. Yep. Keep it. You're not dragging doing this. Hey, boom, 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 and you're going. So let me ask something. When you do yours, just real quick. So you ask the question.
Yes.
You give them 20 seconds, a song.
Yeah,
what do you do?
We actually have, I've got a sound technician. Works out great. We ask the question, you got 30 seconds. It's the Jeopardy theme. So we ask the question, the Jeopardy music hits, you got 30 seconds. At the end of the music, I say, time's up, everybody.
You're
ready?
going to the next question.
And we move on.
So do you, I know you self-check.
Yes.
Right? You self-check. Do you check after each question or after the round?
After the round.
So same.
Yep, we do. We check after the round. Then we divvy up the cards, draw them, and then we move on with that one. And what's really good about this one is that we've got several categories, just like on Thursday Night Team Trivia.
Right.
We have a few categories that people really enjoy. You know, let's visit the zoo. People like that category.
I like to let's visit the zoo.
Yeah. We interrupt this broadcast.
Will they see you there?
They'll see Byron.
Oh, they'll see Byron. Okay.
Yeah. We interrupt this broadcast. Breaking news,
like
historical aspects, something that caused an interruption in normal television broadcasting. They interrupt this broadcast for that. And finally, you got to be kidding. It is a question. It's a question based on legitimate, real laws in the United States that are so insane and incredible.
Oh my God.
But they are legitimate laws on the books in the United States. We throw that out there as well in round 5. It's always a big hit. It's a great combination of the night.
It's one of those. You have to have your headlights on while your windshield wipers are working.
Oh, here we go.
I wish I could say you got to be kidding. That's just common sense.
Anyway, Wednesday night, Thursday night over at the grill, we give you the answer, not the question. Tonight's answer is what, Dave? Bang! How about a spinning thing? How about your local team? A tornado. How about that? Tornado. So that will be your answer for one of these, and the answer is actually for this Thursday night over at the Downtown Grill.
It could be about that movie.
It could be. It could be. It could be. It could be
Twister.
about the Twister. Could be. And now everyone's favorite segment that brings back a little history, brought to you by our great media partners, WEAG, the Eagle Country 106.3 FM, Chuck and Mary Kramer and Lynn Bellis, my boss on Friday nights, and the Bradford County Telegraph, John Miller, John Ryan Tillman, Mark Crawford, and of course Cliff Smelly. Dave, here's what's the date. These are the headlines from the Bradford Telegraph during the 4th week of October in what year? So, shoe prints, not fingerprints, lead to burglary arrest. How about that? Fill her up! How much is in your tank? And tension erupts between admins and school board member. Was that October of 2013, October of 2015, or October of 2017? Shoe prints, not fingerprints, lead to burglary arrest. Fill her up! How much is in your tank? Tension erupts between admins and school board member. Was that October of 2013, October of 2015, or October of 2017? Here we go, just a little bit of a hint. James L. Clark, 57, of Brooker, was charged with 1 count of burglary and another count of larceny after a Brooker resident reported a burglary on October 8th. Deputies noticed and photographed an impression of the bottom of a shoe on the dust in the homeowner's garage floor. That led to the suspect's arrest.
Consumers were paying as little as $2.10 at Walmart on 301, while the highest gas prices were the Shell in Stark, where the pump price for regular earlier in the week was $2.20. Over in Keystone Heights, the price was $2.24 per gallon.
I want to ask you guys something. Just really, I want to stop right here. We're talking about gas, and you know how gas prices have spiked up here in the last several weeks. You tell me, because I know you, Michael, you ride around here quite a bit. I remember when the Shell, like he said, was the higher price, and it seems to be one of the lower prices in town. Why is that?
It has leveled out. However, it is still a few ticks higher than you would find at Walmart.
Okay.
And that is simply because, believe it or not, of supply and demand. While all gasoline is the same depending on the distribution,
right?
People were the Shell station, and I can say this because we had a situation where we actually have a Shell fuel card from the business,
right?
And I questioned when I was getting fuel one day, and they said that even with the fuel perks and the discounts that Shell offers, because of their prices, and they were doing it to make money at that one, they were losing business to other retailers. Therefore, especially in Florida, Shell actually told them, lower your price to be competitive with other stations.
Wow.
There you go. I noticed that. That's what I wanted to ask.
And I tell you, you also have to watch out what area that you're in when you purchase gas, what county, because they could have penny taxes added onto that for their roads and stuff for that county as well, and that will change the price.
All right. A tense exchange in the October 12th school board meeting involved changes in virtual school offerings and previous statements about computerized course recovery at the high school. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Shoe prints, not fingerprints, lead to burglary arrest. Fill her up. How much is in your tank, Dave? Tension erupts between admins and school board member. Was that October of 2013, October of 2015, October of 2017? I'm going to give you just a few minutes, ladies and gentlemen, to answer that, because tonight we have a special guest. His name is Derek Putnam. He's going to be the organizer for the 352 Shootout here. It's happening in Gainesville, Florida.
That's right.
Our very own Mitchell Gunner will be racing in that event. He also announces he's an announcer for National Muscle Car Association and does other things as well. He will be on with us in about 7 or 8 minutes. So I'm going to acknowledge everybody. I'm going to let you get your guesses in. This is a chance to win a $25 gift card to the Downtown Grill if you get your name pulled at the end of the month. We do it usually the first week of the following month. And then if you get pulled, you are the winner of the $25 gift card. Who do we have last week?
It was none other than the county superintendent, or county road department superintendent, Jason Dodds.
Right.
He received his card today.
Thank you very much.
Very happy.
Right.
Also, I feel I must
confess.
I feel remorse for having to say this.
Okay.
But after the quote performance this past Saturday, we're going with a traditional black fire helmet, because I have trouble really promoting the other helmets I've been using after a really lackluster performance by my peers.
Okay. All right. So there you go. You heard it first. All right. Roy Jackson's on. Gail Allen's on. Jeff Cohen's on. Jacob Swaggerty's on. Jacob, yes, I did see your message. I know everybody else did. We'll talk to you about a sponsorship, and we're going to press that the next show about sponsorship and things like that. I've had a lot of questions asked about that. Yes. Trent Bryant's on. Janet Rolls on. Brett Southwell's on. Shirley Bagwell, hello, Mom, how are you? Everybody says hello. Noah Gibson says, dang it, he tried to guess. Sharon Petterprin said Billy Graham. I'll be daggum. So she guessed that one. Good evening, Miss Shirley. How you doing? Hope you and Donnie's doing well. Mr. Byron Bagwell, you know your son's under the weather. So, hey, we'll look forward to him next week. Nikki Cooper's on. Noah Gibson says Jefferson. Not bad guess. Ready? 1, 2, 3, guys. Hello. Howdy. Tammy Testone's on.
It was good, just so you know. Albie showed up.
Did he?
And Waldo last Friday night and was able to... Not only was he able to get out, he was able to, with assistance, walk over, picked up the fire hose, and got to be a firefighter on the nozzle as part of the Funtastic Fire Brigade. Did a fantastic job. Tammy says that's all he talked about.
That is awesome. That is awesome. Anytime we can do something like that, that's what it's all about right here, guys. You know, kid like this, you just never know. You know what I'm saying? What may happen or whatever, And for him to have a few minutes of fun, that's what we're all about. This is what this show's all about.
He's been a steady viewer of the show.
Oh, yes,
since we started just about
3 years ago. I have to ask Tammy exactly, but I know at least 2 years ago, maybe 3.
Yep.
Good evening, brothers, sisters, patriots, infidels, and miscreants. Who would say that?
The Byron Bagwell.
That's him. Yep, Elizabeth John Ryan Tillman's on. Anthony Black's on. Byron Bagwell said Biden has Bush's weather machine. Oh, all right. Marla Gadzik, is that McGregor? Could be. Marla, hello. Anthony Black's back. Joseph Sayers, Noah Gibson. Brittany Lee and Heater. Michael, say hello.
Hey, Bear.
Bear.
Cub.
Yep. And by the way, Brittany, we are coming to your place tomorrow, Thursday. You'll get that yard cut again, looking all spruced up, niced up. So get ready for getting it ready for the winter. So look out for that. David Thea says 2017, Michael. Byron Bagwell says 2017. I guess he can play since he's not here. How about that? Randy Scoggins. Hello. Tammy Testone says 2013. I don't like 2017. Jackson says 13. The model, Sharon Petterpin, says 13. Noah Gibson says 2017. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go around the table. David, what do you say?
I'm going to say 15.
You're going to go 15. That's the first 15. Michael, you can't.
I can't.
All right.
I'm also going to say 2015, looking at the gas prices.
Yeah, and I'm going to tell you right now, too, I'm going with 2015 as well just because of the gas price. I wasn't sure about the other two. Thought I remembered. So I'm going to go 2015. Tammy Testone says, since the first show.
Yeah.
Wow.
Since the very first show.
There you go.
So there you go. So he's been around a while. Shirley says 2015 as well. All right, guys, that's all the guesses right here. We got a guest coming on here in just a few minutes. All right, give me a drum roll. Ready? And the answer is October 2015. One person. Miss Shirley Bagwell, congratulations.
There you go. That's why I went with that, was the gas price.
That was it. The other two I wasn't sure about. Michael, what would have given it away for you?
Actually, for me, it was the footprint.
The footprint.
Because of the law enforcement side of it. Yeah.
I'll be that gum. So, all right, one person. Miss Shirley Bagwell.
Got her in the hat.
Got her in the hat. There you go. Because what did Byron say? Byron said 2017, didn't he? Yeah, he's down. So
Here's our guest.
all right, here we go. And here's our guest coming up right here. So we'll go straight to that. All right, he's on the line. Hello, Derek Putnam. My name is David Rodgers. I'm the host here on the spot with David Rodgers. Glad to have you on. Right beside me is Mr. Mitchell Gunner. Over to my right is my director, Michael Heater, and my producer, Dave Holland. Derek, glad to have you on with us.
Yeah, I appreciate the invitation. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, guys. Derek Putnam, organizer for the 352 Shootout, and he also announces National Muscle Car Association and does some other things as well. Again, welcome in, Derek. Just want to start off with a simple question, and then I'm going to turn it over to Mitchell, and he can ask you those technical things there that everybody wants to know about. Just tell everybody a little bit about yourself, where you're from, what you do. What other sports do you like besides, of course, racing and, of course, NHRA and things like that, just so our audience can get familiar with you?
Okay. So I basically grew up in a car family. My father also is a car guy, has raced pretty much his whole life. So I grew up in South Florida, moved to Gainesville in 1994 to go to college at University of Florida, and have stayed here ever since. Basically started going to the racetrack when I was 6 years old. I'm 45 now, so do the math. Been doing it for a while. Thankful to be able to do things like the shootout and announcing that I never in my life would have thought I'd have the opportunity to do, as a job and make a little bit of money. It's all just having fun for me, basically.
Yeah, it's all relevant, isn't it? Because I don't know if you read about me or Mitchell told you about me, but I do the play-by-play for our local high school football team, the Bradford Tornadoes here, which I know you're very familiar with. I'm the voice of them now. It used to be Terry Vaughn, which you may have known years back. But, hey, when you're announcing football games or a race car event or a hot rod event or whatever it may be, it's all the same thing. You got to do your homework, and you got to be knowledgeable in what you're doing.
No, absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. It gets to the point where, in my opinion, I grew up watching drag racing on like the USA Network and TNT, and it was literally, it was your job to inform the people and to get them excited. If you spoke in a monotone voice, it's very easy for people to tune it out. If you get a little amped on a big play, or when someone scores a touchdown and you yell and scream like it's your own kid, people can hear that. People know that you're invested in it, and in my opinion, that brings it to that next level. And with so many options in today's world that people can do both from home or going out and experiencing, you need to put a little bit of that extra effort and work into it to get people excited and get people out and have them come back and support you.
Yeah, I agree with you, Derek. I'm gonna turn it over to Mitchell here and let him ask you a few questions there. Again, ladies and gentlemen, Derek Putnam, organizer of the 352 Shootout. That's going to happen at the end of the month here. Want everybody to go to the raceway out there and come out and support a lot of local drivers and drivers that are going to be coming in, right, Mitchell?
Oh yeah, definitely. And Derek can probably tell us a little bit more on that. Where some of these drivers come up from, South Florida, maybe Southern Georgia, maybe even Southern Alabama, that will come to Gainesville Raceway and race in this event.
Right.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, again, this kind of started as a, kind of a friendly smack talk amongst friends that have fast street cars of, okay, who really has the fastest car? So originally the whole 352 Shootout was named just after the area code. We wanted to see who had the fastest street car in this area. And it was always, for me anyway, about putting together a race that people were going to have fun at. I mean, don't get me wrong, winning and the bragging rights and the big check or the trophy and the money that goes with it is great. But the memories that you make, the friendships you end up creating at the track, those are the real awards and the best things that you can walk away with this.
Gotcha.
Right. Now, what annual event is this now, Derek?
This is the 6th year we did it. We started doing it in 2016 with one class, and now we're up to 9 classes and almost 2 days worth of efforts and work that we put in at Gainesville, and it would not be possible without Mike Urich and his staff there. They took a chance on us and allowed me to kind of put everything together, and they gave us the space. And like I said, a lot of racetracks nowadays wouldn't take that kind of a gamble, so I've got to give a shout-out to Mike Urich and his staff. Otherwise, we would not be able to do this.
Right.
All right.
And now this event was supposed to take place in April of this past year, but Mother Nature had other plans than what we wanted. So instead of having a nice, sticky, tacky surface, we had a slip and slide down the strip.
That's a good way of putting it. Yeah, if you would have had, what do they call them, skim boards or boogie boards, you would have had a lot more fun than anybody with a car out there would have that day.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, I want to ask our director something. He's also a weather guru. I know he looks at the weather like days out. Mike, what does next weekend look like?
So next weekend is looking pretty good. There's no tropical activity expected. However, there is another frontal boundary that's expected to make its way towards the end of the weekend, the first of the next week. There's another boundary behind it. While I don't think there's going to be any significant rainfall, you could have some track delays depending on when that front moves through during the 352.
All right. Hey, Derek, that's not too bad. We can take that, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Florida weather, ever since I've started racing, it's like, okay, if you enjoy outdoor activities in Florida and you don't like the weather, wait 20 minutes. It'll change.
And you can ask Derek that we have actually been at the track, and it has rained all the way around us.
Yeah.
And be dry at the track. And then we've been out there other times where it has stormed at the track, but you can drive actually less than a mile down the road both directions, and it'll be bone dry.
Yeah, you can almost go across the street and have a dry spot.
Absolutely. Derek, can you kind of go over the different types of classes that we're going to be having at the 352 Shootout this year? And basically, when we get into these no-time classes, can you kind of speculate on what ETs that they will actually probably be running?
Sure, I can speculate on it. It's one of those things where people will trust a no-time organization probably more than they would trust their own parents, because it all becomes the drama and the mystique of you don't really know what the other guy is running or girl, because there are plenty of females in our sport that obviously do very well as well. So, but yeah, no-time stuff, it's been around for a long time, and again, it kind of, for lack of a better way to say it, it equals the playing field. People have no idea if the car that looks like grandma's grocery getter is really fast, or if the car that looks really fast is in fact really fast or not. So it's for lack of a better way to say it, it's a smoke and mirror show. You have to be able to feel confident in yourself no matter who you line up with and make a good pass in your lane. So the no time deal is something that I was never really into, just because you had to have something fast to do that. And I never really had anything fast enough to do that. But when I talked to the drivers and asked them how they wanted to do it, the no time format was what we started with. And like I said, now we're up to 9 classes. And of those 9 classes, 8 of the 9, we do not show times on the scoreboard. So, we could talk about each and every one of them, but basically, again, even in a class where there is an index or there is a performance threshold that you can't run faster, again, it really, it evens the playing field. I mean, like, for example, one of the classes that we run is called Real Street, and it's a quarter-mile class, and it has a 10 flat or 10.00 second index limit, meaning you can't run faster than that. So there's lots of cars that could run in the 10s. There's a lot of cars that could probably run in the 9s, but you have to be able to run what you can run. And if the scoreboards are off, you don't know who you're running, number one. Number two, you don't know if that person ran good in qualifying or in eliminations or not, because you can't see their time. Only the driver's going to get that. So it does add some mystique to it.
Hey, Derek, somebody had asked me, I work over at New Millennium in Lake City, and some of the guys that are watching right now work over there with me, and they wanted me to ask you, and I'd asked Mitchell this, and Mitchell even sort of mentioned this. I know this is your 6th year, and I see you got several classes here. Looks like it's going to be a fun day. But somebody asked me about, hey, is there any way that maybe he can get the Street Outlaw guys here?
Unfortunately, they are busy that weekend. Ironically, about a month ago, the No Prep Kings Street Outlaw stuff actually scheduled 3 additional races for their 2021 season, and their final race is actually at Bradenton Motorsports Park the same weekend as us.
How about maybe for next year?
I mean, it's the kind of thing where I would love to do it, because I understand that the fans would like to see those kind of cars and so forth. But the problem is that it's got to be some kind of a balance. As far as I want to be there for the racers and I want to be there for the spectators. And if you bring in Street Outlaw stuff, they're not going to show up for free. They have to come with appearance fees, which I completely understand. But if that's going to make it where it's going to dilute the racing program, I would rather have, honestly, somebody like, say, Big Daddy Don Garlitz from Ocala come up, or I'd rather bring a pair of jet cars out or something like that, versus trying to slow or dilute all the racing action that has made this event what it is, versus trying to bring in something that, to be honest, already has a really great series and gets a lot of participation on their own rank.
Yeah, that's a great answer.
Well, one of the classes that I like that you had added last year, and that is going to continue on, hopefully, is the Open Comp class. And I tell you, that purse is a nice purse if you win. $2,250. I could do a lot with $2,250. So, can you kind of talk about how Open Comp runs on a pro tree, and how much is taken out of their time, and how that all works?
Sure, absolutely. So, the thing about bracket racing or index racing in general is, it's, in my opinion, and granted I'm biased, but it's a lot of fun to participate in. But for a lot of people to watch, sometimes it's boring when you use a regular, what we would call sportsman tree, where each amber light comes on individually, and there's 3 per side. But when people see all 3 lights flash at once, in other words, you're using a professional style tree, that makes a huge difference. It gives it more of a heads up versus the finish line style feel. And that's why Open Comp all across the country gets lots of participation. And last year was the first year we tried doing it. As you mentioned, Mitch, you were one of the people that asked about it. We competed in it at Gainesville previously. I didn't want to bring it in unless we could do it right and, again, give the racers a good purse. And this year, thankfully, we're able to pay more than we did last year by almost $1,000. So, all of that definitely, feeds into the program. So the deal with Open Comp is it is a handicapped index-based system where you can take different performance levels of vehicles and they can all compete equally. It basically comes down to your ability to have a consistent car that will run similar times, from run to run, and being able as a driver to react to the Christmas tree or the starting system as good as you possibly can. And the way that it works, for lack of a better way to explain it, is if you have, say, a car that runs a 6:05 and a 6:07. Okay, that's in the 8th mile. So a 6.05 second and a 6.07 second time. So we would take 0.05 of a second away from that vehicle's quickest pass, which would be the 6:05. So his index or her index would become 6.00.
Right.
And then, say, first round, that person pairs up with a car that is indexed at 8.00. So there's 2 seconds between those two vehicles. Now, the only way that you're going to be able to make them competitive and give each driver a solid chance of winning is by using the handicap system. Yeah. So the slower car with the 8.00 index would leave first by 2 seconds. And then the 6-second car would chase them. And the way that the handicap system works is if both drivers leave at exactly the same time on reaction time, and both cars run their dial-ins or their indexes, the handicap difference is made up and you have a photo finish at the finish line. And that's how index racing and bracket racing is basically one of the most participated in sports, because it doesn't make it to where you have to have the fastest car or you have to have the most money invested in order to participate. Now, like I said, it's great for participation. It's great for every person to have a chance. Is it as exciting to watch as heads-up racing where first to the finish line wins? Well, to be honest, from a fan's perspective, not necessarily. But the problem with that is you could come out with the same car you used last year. If you were competitive last year, you have a good chance of being competitive this year. If you're running heads-up, if you don't touch your car from one year to the next, you may not have as big of an advantage on the field as you might have had last year, or you might now be in the middle of the pack because people are going to outspend you, they're going to outtest you, and they're going to outwork you.
Right. And I tell you, we're talking about open comp. One of the things that I'm going to do, since I run nitrous in my car, I will actually get to a certain point. I will stop spraying the car and run the rest of the way through on motor. So when those 500s are taken away, when I come back to race, I will spray my car all the way through to try to get right there where I'm supposed to be on my ET.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I would do it. Other people, they'll lift a little bit. Some people put 100 pounds in their car to take, or 50 pounds in their car to take that half of a tenth away to make everything work. You'll see people using all different types of technique to get there and take all that stuff out, or add a little power back to the car to make sure they can meet that index in open comp.
Yeah.
Right. And, again, we talk about the fact that there's lots of different ways to do it. And you look at the final round from last year, a couple of Gainesville regulars, and 2 completely different cars. You have a race car style Mustang that Brendan George was running, and then you have a C4 Corvette street car with air conditioning and everything that Bart Pangillion is driving. 2 people that know what they're doing in bracket racing, know how to run an index race, and get to a final by doing what they're supposed to. But yet you have 2 very dissimilar cars. But yet both of them have a very good shot of walking away with the money. And that's the reason why, people can get freaked out and think that, in order to participate, I have to spend all this money to be able to get into a class. And as much as heads-up racing is fun, and I've always enjoyed watching it and reading about it and writing it, it's the kind of thing where you have to be able to balance it out with real-world economics, because only so many people are going to be able to just run flat out, first to the finish line, performance wins every time, and still be able to get a good turnout and provide a good show for the fans and make it feel like, you're putting on a good competition for the drivers.
Right. Again, ladies and gentlemen, Derek Putnam, organizer of the 352 Shootout, is here with us on the spot with David Rodgers. I have a question for you. My director has a fire truck, So if I want to enter this fire truck in the 352 shootout, which class would I be in? Derek?
If you wanted to enter a fire truck, I would say open comp is probably the best class for you to go into. I didn't realize we had enough demand for a fire truck class yet.
Listen,
Derek, if you just seen that look that I just got, buddy, I tell you what, I probably shouldn't have asked the question.
Listen, let me tell you what. I'm proud of that rig. That baby goes 0 to 60 in 40 seconds. But the point is, it looks good going down the track.
Yeah, and you know what? You're having a good time. And again, that's. If you talk to most people that promote events and they don't do them for a living, like in other words, it's their second gig or it's their side job,
Right.
They're doing it just for what you said. They're doing it to provide a fun environment for people to come out and have a good time. And again, that's really what the 352 Shootout has become. You know, I grew up going to races at Gainesville, for like the Gator Nationals, for example, and I grew up going to Moroso Motorsports Park and Bradenton Motorsports Park. Those places have heads-up races constantly because it's a much bigger area. It's a bigger metropolis. You have more racers to pull from, more spectators to pull from. So putting a heads-up race on down there, forgive the expression, is a little easier. But up here, it was never really done because it's, take the college away and take the racetrack away, and Gainesville, Alachua, Orlando, or not Orlando, Ocala up until recently, are smaller cities. So it's hard to have that kind of turnout and participation. So
Right.
I think it's more for a lot of the people that come to this, even the people that travel from, 2-3 hours away. I mean, we had some people that came down from Tennessee last year. I was shocked, but, it was great to see them. But still, it becomes where it's something where you can go to the racetrack and you could say, this is my hometown. This is my track that I would come to on a Saturday night or a Wednesday night and watch Test and Tune for $5 a person.
Wow.
If they have heads-up cars here, I want to go out and support that because it looks like a great way to spend a Saturday.
Right. Well, can you tell us a little bit about this one picture that Dave's fixing to put up? Tell us about Dirt Dauber.
Oh yeah, I'm watching all the pictures go up across the screen right now. So the Dirt Dauber is is actually named appropriately. It was purchased by two gentlemen, Michael Fair, who is been working at Rollins Automotive, as you well know. It's about 15 minutes from the racetrack, and he purchased that along with his brother, Tyler Blasting, and they put it together as kind of a grudge no-time car. And it was a kind of in-the-weeds truck, and nothing really had been done to it, and it was kind of rough, and so they spent a lot of time and money fixing it up and making it really competitive. It's got, the real big wheel stand that it did. And again, it was named because when they started going through it, they found a whole bunch of dirt dauber nests in it, and the first time the car went down the racetrack, it dropped about 3 of them on the starting line. So at that point, the name was pretty much locked in. So the deal with the photo that's up there is that was on his qualifying pass last year, and Gainesville, unfortunately, for a long time has had a reputation by a lot of people of, it doesn't hook, and they only prep it during the Gator Nationals and so forth. And I have made it a very big part of this event to give everybody as good of a surface as I can. And thankfully, Mike Urick from the track, and last year, Jeremy Davis, who's no longer with us, he's back in Indy, but this year, Corey Deemer, who's leading the crew. We've made a big part about doing that. And when you have a car that has a lot of horsepower and a lot of torque, if you set the suspension up wrong, just like that Dirt Dauber picture or the picture that came up with Chris Morris's green Mustang and Jason Rollins, his blue Nova, what'll happen is instead of the car going forward, if you loosen the front suspension up because you don't think the track's going to be there and it's going to be a little slippery and you want to get weight on the back end, the front end goes up instead of going forward. So wheelies look cool, but in the case of Mike Fair and the Dirt Dauber, it didn't work out so well because he slammed the oil pan into the pavement, and that was the end of his weekend.
Yeah. And I tell you, to let our viewers know, I mean, you're going to see some wheel-up action at this event. And everybody loves wheelies, cars coming off the starting line. I mean, so I'm trying to, get the viewers to see what we're looking at on the TV. And I'm telling them, go on out there and experience. You're going to love it. It's a great event. It's growing, like you said, every year. and you've actually added something in this year for the kids.
Yeah, I mean, it was the kind of thing where, what ended up being a bad deal in April ended up becoming a good deal for us this year. We decided that because, hey, it's right around Halloween, and we added a car show last year to, again, add another element to try and make it more fun. Let's do something this year to make it even more fun. It's Halloween weekend, so let's have a costume contest for both adults and kids. Let's do trunk or treat so kids can get candy. And we'll have candy at any racers' pit areas that want to bring them in. We'll have it at the car show area. We're going to do a pit decoration contest, and we're going to give away some money and some prizes and stuff to go with all that. And, again, it's just about taking it up another notch. And, if it was, it's the kind of thing where you have to be willing to step outside the box and look at it and go, as a dad or a mom or an enthusiast, what is the kind of thing that would make my family want to come to the racetrack? What is something that would make, my kid want to participate in this? And, again, motorsports is a big deal. I mean, we're facing a lot of legislation. We're facing a lot of tightening of the reins, so to speak. And to keep our hobby and our way of life going, this is the kind of thing that you have to be willing to put the effort in and think outside the box. Racing used to be enough by itself, but you kind of have to add a little bit more.
Right. Now, you mentioned a while ago about a car show. Can you tell us a little bit about that? How many awards you're going to have, how judging is going to be done, and what different types of cars that people could possibly see there?
Yeah, absolutely. So the car show, unfortunately, last year we didn't really get a great turnout because of the drizzle, but we had a really nice turnout of quality of cars despite the rain, so I was encouraged by that. And you get to see the nice thing about a car show is you get to see a little bit of everything. We got to see really nice custom stuff. We got to see late models. We got to see really nice restored classics. So this year we have 14 awards total. We give away a best of show. We give away 2 sponsor picks, and that's done by Chrysler Customs Works and Gainesville Towing Service. They do sponsor presentations. We give away a top 5 participant choice. We give away a top 5 judged, and I bring in people that have worked car shows with me for my main job at National Parts Depot. So we try to make it where, again, everybody has a balanced chance to be able to get into this and have a decent shot of walking away with something. And if not, the great part is that the car show is not an all-day deal. I know some people, like myself, I don't mind doing that, but some people enjoy, like, say, a cars and coffee mentality where you're there for 3 to 5 hours. And so the car show is done, wrapped up, awards handed out before 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So if you want to enjoy the rest of your Saturday, you can. If you want to watch the drag racing and you're in the car show, you can walk to the grandstands in less than a minute because it's right behind where the grandstands are, so it's front and center.
Hey, Derek, Dana Courtney said, super excited. Thanks, Derek and the crew, for putting this all together. It sounds like y'all had this in the planning and the work, and a lot of people know about it. So sounds like it's going to be a great event. I want to give you a few minutes here. Do you want to talk about your sponsors and who sponsor a lot of this? I want you to give them the props I know that they deserve. So give you a few minutes here and how they can get a hold of you and find out about this event.
Sure, absolutely. So, you mentioned the sponsors, and obviously, we're paying out a lot of money. We're paying out over $13,000, and I could not do that, without a single car rolling in the gate if it wasn't for all the sponsors. So, a big thank you to Gainesville Towing Service. I mentioned them earlier. They are our presenting sponsor this year, and Dwayne McMahon and his crew there have done a lot. They sponsor 3 classes this year, the car show and the overall event, so they're a very big part of this. Talk about Rollins Automotive Speed and Custom earlier. Jason Rollins and his group has been on board since we started this. TRZ Motorsports, that's the Brash family out of Orlando. They make real high-quality suspension components, and they've been on board since the beginning. Alan Montaigne at Select Motor Car of Gainesville came on board as a traction sponsor this year, so we will have 2 full 45-gallon barrels of glue, so the racetrack will definitely be sticky. I guarantee you that.
Wow.
Talk about Tony at Tuners Incorporated. He's also a longtime Gainesville racer, been coming out here for close to 3 decades. Some of the other guys that are also class sponsors include Central State RV Mobile Repair, McGuire's Auto Repair, L&S Trailers and Consignments. I mentioned Chrysler Custom Works. They're one of 2 in the car show sponsors. Jerry's Automotive and Auto Body, Swamp City Gallery Lounge, that's Tyler Blasting's business. McLean Motorsports, they say they're coming out to pretty much clean up at the pit decoration contest this year, so it'll be interesting to see if they follow up on that.
Oh, yeah.
We've got IRD Racing, Creative Home Solutions, Ken Grant Snap-on, Higher Power Transport. I mean, I've literally got a little bit of everything. These are all enthusiasts, and not every single one of them is, an automotive or a racing-based business. These are all people that, again, want to have something go on at a facility like this that they call home. So a couple more of them, including Tremec Transmissions, very thankful to have them on board. Gold Medal Nutrition, Anything Auto Repair, Andrew Richards Performance Components, Profab, Spikes Refinishing, and the Stick Shift Mafia. There's a lot of names, but when you have 9 classes and you're trying to pay out a good purse, as Mitchell referred to earlier, that's the kind of thing where, I'm thankful to have all these people. And give a big shout out also, I mentioned the racetrack earlier. I couldn't do it without all their, support and everything, because they, took on somebody that I've done event stuff for 15 years, but never like this. And them giving me a chance to do it means a lot. And I do have to give Jason Rollins a shout out, because when we started this, it was myself, Jason, and a gentleman named Rob Brazil who came up with this whole idea. And I was more of the, let me put it together, let me try and get the sponsors, because I had car show experience, and let them race. And Rob has since gotten married and kind of stepped back a little bit. I hear he's supposed to be bringing a car back this year. And Jason has, he does so much already. I didn't want to task him with the idea of running the event. But thankfully, with both of them and some select other people, I'm lucky to have some people that help me with the rules and figure out how to make everything better and take, real world suggestions that think outside the box. And, it's not just me. I'm just one person, and there's a whole lot of other people that make this event possible. I've hired a great staff to come in and do this with us. They're flying in from all over the country. So, like I said, it's not just me. I'm just the lucky guy that gets to steer the ship, but there's a great crew on board, and it would not go forward if it wasn't for them.
Sounds like it. You said did you say the Stick Shift Mafia? Is that right, Derek?
Yes, sir.
Dave Holland, by the way, is a member of the Stick Shift Mafia, our producer.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mom. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm messing with you, Derek. I had to mess with Dave. I just heard that, and I'm like, I can get Dave Holland with this one.
Yeah.
Well, that's one of those things where, when you look at stick shift cars, and in my opinion, when I've been lucky enough to announce, like NMRA has a class called Coyote Stock. It's a naturally aspirated crate motor that Ford came up with. Mm-hmm. And you're talking like 450 horsepower crate motors with a lock tune in them. But these cars are going 960s, 970s in the quarter mile at over 133 miles an hour with the wheels in the air, and they're shifting first to second gear with the wheels 4 feet in the air. And it's like, yeah, it's not the fastest thing ever. It's not a pro stock car, but I tell you, if you're listening to a motor sing at 8,000 RPM and they're shifting with a clutch pedal while the front end is in the air, that's exciting. And that's the kind of thing that makes me want to have a stick shift class, because there's certain people that don't want to line up with an automatic. They just want to run a stick, and I want to try and give those people a chance to race and have fun.
Hey, Derek, we have a wide variety of people that listen to this show. I don't know if you're a first time. I know you're a first time guest. I don't know if you listened to us before, but we have, like I said, a roundabout of people. Got a lady named, her name is Tammy Testone, and we've got a young man named Alvy. He's what does he have, Mike? He's autistic, and Tammy said, this all sounds great to her. She would love to take Alvy out there, but she's afraid the noise of the cars may be way too much for him. What do you suggest there if that's the case?
Yeah, it's one of those things where the racetrack and the way it's designed with, a lot of these cars not having mufflers, yeah, it can be noisy. It's not going to be anywhere near as loud as a Top Fuel car, but, if he really wanted to go out and enjoy the racing and everything, my initial thought is they make a lot of really great earphones and headphones these days that are noise canceling. And I know people that actually have like wireless earbuds that will shoot trackside with, like Pro Mod cars. Like you just had, Pro Mod winner on last week, and I can't think of his name for some reason right now.
Lyle Barnett.
Lyle Barnett, yeah. Mm-hmm. And, like we're sitting there shooting Pro Mods, and I'm wearing full ear covering protection. and he's sitting there with a couple of earbuds that are stuck in his ear, and he's shooting the same cars rolling by me, and we're talking, decibel levels that would, deafen a person if you didn't have some kind of hearing protection. And he told me, he goes, the best thing I ever did was buy a set of those. So if it's something where he feels comfortable using something like that, I would honestly say there's a lot of great technology that's available now where you would be able to watch it and the noise would not be too much. And some of those things are reasonable in cost, too. So there's definitely some options out there for him.
Right.
There you go, Tammy. I hope he answered your question for you.
And another thing for Tammy, if everything looks like it works out great, we're going to be there bringing the event live to Facebook.
Yeah.
So
I look forward to having you guys in the tower. Hopefully, when I get on the mic, you won't pick me apart too much. But I actually did hire a professional announcer, Jake Hodge. He's coming in from Kentucky, and Mitch might know him. He's announced the World Foot Brake Challenge. He's going to be doing announcing at the Million this weekend at South Georgia with Ryan Gleghorn, and he's been around and done a little bit of everything, and I think he'll bring the excitement level that we need.
That sounds great. Yeah, we're looking really forward to next weekend and being in the tower and being able to come live, and maybe, like you said, this will help Tammy and Albie, and they can see some of this here too. So, this will be great.
Yeah, and I tell you, Derek, if we have some downtime, which I know that's one word that we don't want to hear when it comes to drag racing and delay an event a little bit, but if we ever come to that point, we may be able to grab a couple of racers, take them up to the tower, and interview them right there live on Facebook. And we're going to try to use that opportunity there. So how can someone get a hold of you if they want to participate in the event?
Right.
Well, the best ways to be able to do it, I mean, we talk about how great Facebook is, and thankfully that's been the way that I've pretty much marketed this. So the best way to do it is to go to our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/352shootout. No spaces, no dashes. And when you get there, if you click on the events tab, which is usually located across the top or on the left side, depending on what you're using to view it, you'll get a listing that'll show all of our current events and all of our past events, and then you just click on where it says 6th Annual 352 Shootout, and that'll have all the details, all the class listings. You guys have been rotating the event flyer that has all the dates and times on it. I'm very easy to find on Facebook. I have a green Chevrolet Nova as my background, so you can always send me a message too. It's Derek, spelled D-E-R-E-K, Putnam, P-U-T-N-A-M. I know you've flashed it across the screen a whole bunch of times, so I don't know why I'm spelling it. But anyway, so those are probably the best two ways to do it. And honestly, with how I am with so much stuff I do with multiple jobs, I can usually get back to you in a reasonable amount of time. But again, there's so much stuff going on at this, and I just want everybody to come out and have a good time, whether you're a racer, a spectator, a fan, whatever. It's all about supporting something in your backyard and seeing people that, hey, you may have grown up with, and now they have a car that they're competing with, and you have somebody to root for, somebody with a vested interest in.
Right. Well, I tell you what, Derek, we appreciate you coming on tonight and explain a little bit about the 352 Shootout, and I know everyone here is looking forward to it.
Yep.
To come up there and bring it live on Facebook for everyone. I'm looking forward to getting in the car, strapping in, putting my helmet on, and trying to do my best to try to win some money. And I'll tell you, anybody out there watching, you want to go watch some great racing, grassroots racing, you need to come to Gainesville Raceway on October the 30th.
Yep.
Yeah, and again, I appreciate you gentlemen giving me the opportunity. I look forward to meeting you in person, David, and obviously, Mitchell, thank you so much for being a great ambassador for not only the racing community but the car community. I know you're like me; you try and do a lot, and it definitely shows when I listened to Lyle Barnett last week. There's a real interest there, and I know that that's the kind of thing that people take note of. And again, that's why we're trying to do this event, is we want people to come out and have fun, and that's really what we need to promote more than anything else. It's not about the money, it's not about the glory, it's about having a good time and making memories.
That's right.
Thank you, Derek. Appreciate you having you coming on. I know you got a busy schedule. I know this week's going to be busy, but I want to thank you for coming on, and we'll see you next Saturday for sure. Again, thank you very much.
David, thank you so much. Mitchell, thank you so much. I hope you both have a great night.
No problem. Thank you.
Darren.
You too.
All righty.
All right. Bye.
That was Darren Putnam, ladies and gentlemen, organizer for the 352 Shootout that Mitchell's going to be racing in next week. He also announces the National Muscle Car Association, and he does other things as well. So, we've got some local stuff we want to go over. We'll let Michael pitch in on that too as well, and of course we'll have the weather again. And then I want to leave you guys with something before we close the show out.
Definitely.
Something for us to think about for next week.
All right, get to the City of Stark. I just want to let everybody know the city commissioners had a meeting tonight at 5:30. Also, the City of Stark Fire Rescue Department is accepting applications for firefighters, EMTs, and firefighter paramedics, and this is a part-time job starting out at $13 an hour. Coming up next for Bradford County Commission, they will have a meeting this coming Thursday on October the 21st. Hey, I always say, it's your government. You should stay involved. Come to the meetings and listen to what's going on with your tax money. Also, there is going to be a job recruitment event on Wednesday, October the 20th. This is going to take place at Walmart. So if you're out and about looking for a job, Walmart, they're looking to hire some more people. So
while you're on the Walmart thing,
yeah,
I heard something today, and somebody commented to me out of the blue. He wanted to know where I worked. I told him New Millennium. He said, are y'all looking for some hotshot drivers? Guys take. Of course, we always are. But he was telling me that Walmart truckers. I mean, they are needing them bad.
Right.
Over $100,000 a year to start.
Oh yes.
To start.
Yes.
100,000 plus the plus benefits and everything. I'm like, oh my God. You know what? I thought about getting my CDL. I really did. Mike,
I've already got mine.
Buddy, you can go and make some cash if you wanted to right now. That's if you wanted to do that.
But you know what? It wouldn't be nearly as much fun as playing with fire trucks.
Which is very true because that's exactly right. You're right about that. Go ahead, Mitchell.
I want to get into some upcoming events.
Yep.
Community and Schools Golf Tournament will take place at Ironwood Golf Course. That will start at 12:45 on October the 22nd. So now, if you wanted to participate, you already had to have your entry in by October the 1st. Also, coming up on October the 30th is the Great Pumpkinscape that is going to take place in downtown Stark on Saturday, October the 30th, starting at 5 p.m. So, hey, with this going on in the 352 Shootout, guess what? You can go down the Pumpkinscape, stay down there for an hour or so, jump in your car, and go over to Gainesville, and the kids can get more candy at the 352
Shootout.
Shootout.
Mike wanted to add something else. Was you think the same thing?
But wait, there's more.
That's right.
Sunday night, October
Yeah,
31st.
we'll be there.
Slice and Dice is going to be hosting a fall festival and trunk or treat event at the Slice and Dice restaurant on Madison Street in Lottie.
Yep.
They'll have a big turnout of people,
Yep.
great food, great
Yep.
entertainment. I hear there's only going to be at least one, maybe two fire trucks for kids to play on there.
At least two.
Yeah, so they'll
And we'll be playing live music too.
Yeah, oh yeah, with the stereos and the grill and everything like that going on. But yes, Chris Davis is putting together a tremendous opportunity.
Yeah.
And that'll be Halloween night, the 31st, at Slice and Dice on Madison Street in Lawrence.
Yeah, that'll be real fun as well. So, did we forget any? Did we
I
forget anybody?
think we got about everything wrapped up.
There is one more, Mike. See if you can help me remember. There's something going on in Melrose. That same night, October the 30th, and they're like a dance or something, a Halloween dance.
They're having it's the Melrose Fall Festival. It'll also be on the 30th, starting I believe that starts at 6 p.m. It's going to be at the community park area across from Trinity Episcopal Church and the fire station on State Road 26. That's the address is 309 State Road 26 in Melrose. So they'll be having an event there. Also on the 30th, between Lake Geneva and McRae, several of the churches, both in the McRae area, Keystone Heights, Lake Geneva area, a lot of fall festivals, trunk or treat events going on. The big one, of course, being Saturday night in Keystone. I can't remember exactly if it's going to be that thing, but we'll get those. And there's a whole list of them. We'll make sure we share them on the page for anyone that wants to check.
Cool. And also we got next Tuesday before all these events happen as well.
That is correct.
So, all right. Leave you a little with something here. All right. With everything going on in America today, we all know we don't have to sit here and get to it because you know what? All of us right here, and we don't even have the Byron Bagwell, can spend 2 hours talking about it. With everything going on in the world today, do you guys think that in 2022, we got the midterms, hopefully we can turn the houses around.
The House and the Senate. Yep.
I want well, actually a year away because it'll happen in 2022 is when. So, with that being said, with the way the economy's going, the way everything's going right now, the way things are happening with everything, can we sustain that long? Can we? And I'll let you answer that. It's a cliffhanger. Ladies and gentlemen, leave that for a cliffhanger. And I'll let the Byron Bagwell get into that. Can we? Because everybody, I've heard Byron, I've heard us say it. We need to take over the House and the Senate. You know what I mean? Yes, we do. And if we do, I think it'll get better. But with the way that this is being run right now by our current government, can we, ladies and gentlemen, sustain this until 2022? Just a little cliffhanger for you. Right. By the way, on October 30th as well, Georgia, Florida, I want to get your all's perspective. Don't answer it now. Florida should have won that game last Saturday. I don't care what anybody says. They couldn't stop the run. Should their defensive coordinator be fired? Y'all all know who that is, and I don't have to even say a name. Should he be fired? And/or I hear that Dan Mullen's on the hot seat too.
Oh, yeah.
And Ed Orgeron has already left LSU, or will be leaving after the year. He's already put in his resignation. So the LSU, the USC job, possibly the Florida job is open. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I just want to pick your brain and see if y'all think, is there any way that Florida can beat Georgia in a couple of weeks? Right. You don't have to answer it now. Answer that later on.
Right, Dave.
Yeah, well, yeah, he did win, so that's all I can say about that. All right, guys. Hey, great show. Thank you, Derek Putnam, for coming on and being our guest. 352 Shootout. We'll be there as well next Saturday. Michael, real quick before you do weather. Gotta have the weather.
Oh, for heaven's sakes.
Weather, man.
All right, so let's take a quick look at the forecast here. The pollen count is going to be in the 6. It's the medium range. It's going to remain that way throughout the rest of this weekend into the weekend. Look for normal conditions. That's the reason why we're not going to get any fluctuations. No rain in the forecast. As you see, if we check out the forecast moving through the next several days, warm temperatures, decent, low humidity levels. It's going to be nice. Pascagoula, Mississippi, you're under the gun. Strong storms tomorrow. Matter of fact, I wouldn't rule out some damaging winds coming in as a frontal boundary kind of stalls out to your west, and we're getting a disturbance that's building in off the northern Gulf. Everywhere else, though, upper 70s to lower 80s. Beautiful sunshine conditions. Nashville to Orlando to Charlotte. You're going to love it. Enjoy it. Locally for us, again, temperatures are going to be in the upper 80s. Humidity is going to be on the uptick as we move towards the weekend. Still going to be comfortable at night with temperatures in the lower 60s. Mostly sunny skies. Clouds on the increase. Chance of rain coming back into the forecast as we move through the weekend into early next week.
All right. Thank you, Michael, for that weather update. On behalf of the missing, the Byron Bagwell, no Mr. Austin Stevens tonight, our producer, Super Dave Olive, our director, Jules Hardy, Michael Heater with the weather, and our local guru, Mr. Mitchell Gunner. I'm David Rodgers, your host. God bless you. Have a great night, a great week, and a great weekend. And we'll see you next Tuesday night. God bless you guys.